Hey, all right. Happy Father's Day. Wow. I'm in the sun. I'm in the sun. It's pretty beautiful. Pretty beautiful. Hello, you guys. Happy Father's Day. Um, gonna just chat a little bit about relationships with our dads. And, um, you know, it's interesting. As a kid, I kind of thought my dad was pretty tough. And I thought he was tough on us, and he didn't care in some way. But as I've become a man and matured, which by the way probably didn't really happen till I was in my 50s, 60s. Anyway, I see that he wasn't full of sentimentality. He had he understood life in some ways that I didn't as a young man, and he fought in the war and grew up fast, I would say, and certainly had his flaws. But as I look back now, I really respect that he didn't coddle us. We weren't a coddled bunch, you know. He wasn't standing around with his wallet out saying, "Hey, how can I help?" And so he didn't build dependence. He didn't. We weren't dependent on him, and that was great. I think that that we all, developed. I mean, we had our things and our problems, and alcoholism was heavy in our family and all of that. But we developed without a dependency. And I remember probably the last time I ever asked my dad for money. I was 18 or 19, and it just didn't feel right. And there's lots of times I would have liked to, but it it wasn't the way it was. And so I look at relationships with mums and dads, and I'm mostly focusing on dads today, but I see that lots of when I'm working with young fellas in recovery, and young men and women, uh, they're either really mad at their dads, and the relationship is broken in that way, you know, or there's a codependency, and which the greatest danger of the codependency is that we don't get to really search inside to find that relationship with the higher power that we need to be happy here in this planet. And not just for addicts and alcoholics. All of us need to find that inner strength, and call it what you will. And but if we're dependent on somebody, and we see it, sometimes it's so blatant. We're dependent. Where I see the dependency on dad, and so just look at that, think about it. I mean, I'm not suggesting that we don't love our dads. I'm actually suggesting that we do, and that we recognize that sometimes. Hey, Joy, thank you. That sometimes, we have to let them go, and as dads, we have to let our kids go. We can't be, you know. I have three kids, and I love my kids. They're not kids anymore; they're adults. They're men and women, and so I don't think of them as kids, and I don't. I do my best not to interfere in any way in their lives, so that they find their own way, their own strength and their own depth, because I can't be that. I can only love them. I can't tell them what's right or wrong or good or bad. They have to look inside for that. So that's my message today. That you know, I happy Father's Day to all the dads, and just watching our relationship where we're codependent, where we're still trying to run the show with our kids, and I've seen it. Worked for a little while in a treatment center, and dads would be showing up with, packs of cigarettes for their 34-year-old sons. you know, in socks or something. It's like, hello, and mums too, of course, but just let them go, let them find their way, and if they can't, you know, have the freedom to do that, it won't happen. It won't happen. We can kill them with dependency. So that's my message. Real life, but yeah, love my kids today, and yet, I'm fine. We're all fine with, find our own way, our own depth, our own love inside of us. The beauty of that. So that's my message today about Dad's Day, and I've been reading lately from the Tao Te Ching, and I'm going to continue with that today. It's a very short reading, chapter 32. So this is Stephen Mitchell's book. Get a copy of this. It's awesome. It really is. And remember, the process of growing up never stops. The more, I think, for me, it seems like the more I find in myself, my inner self, the strength, my relationship with my higher power, my presence with God, the more fun I have, the more childlike in a way, living in not knowing, without certainty. It's beautiful. And so I encourage you, there's freedom, baby. Okay, chapter 32, the Tao. It says, the Tao can't be perceived. The Tao can't be perceived. Imagine, smaller than an electron, it contains uncountable galaxies. If powerful men and women could remain centered in the Tao, all things would be in harmony. The world would become a paradise. All people would be at peace. And the law would be written in their hearts. Isn't that beautiful? Again, how can we see in our own hearts if we're dependent on others? Be free. When you have names and forms, know that they are provisional. When you have institutions, know that their function should end. Knowing when to stop, you can avoid any danger. Beautiful. All things end in the Tao, as rivers flow into the sea. Gorgeous. Institutions. When you have institutions, know where their function should end. I think that's really the topic today. And in being a dad, where do we step back and just allow them to be? Yeah, I remember, I'll tell a quick story. At 15, we lived in New Brunswick, and at 15, I hopped a freight train, and myself and another guy, and we rode to Quebec City. It was quite a ride in a boxcar, and then we hitchhiked to Toronto, and I was gone for, 3 or 4 weeks, bumming around southern Ontario, and finally got picked up for panhandling on Yonge Street as a kid, and I was 15, and anyway, they got in touch with my parents in New Brunswick, and Dad flew out to get me. Now, I was 15. I understand that I was probably at the age where he could still, come and get me. But I felt in a way that he was more proud of me than he was. He might have been worried about me, but I think he was more proud of me than he was angry, and because I was able to find my way, and certainly that wasn't. I don't suggest that 15-year-olds should go ride freight trains. I just recognize that life is an adventure, and when we're not looking behind to see if if we're getting it right, if we're just going for it, it's a beautiful adventure. So, love you guys. I don't know if that story has any meaning, but I'll never forget him flying out to get me and in Toronto, and you know, I probably weighed about 120 pounds, and I was just, you know, I was a kid, and hitchhiking around, sleeping in at the Y in the Salvation Army, and you know, anyway, fun times. Okay, love you guys, and happy Father's Day, and yeah, that's it. If you go on YouTube, subscribe. Okay, I'm having fun with that. Okay, cheers, love you.